Wolfchase Toyota Insider of the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Richie Grant. And Coach, coming off a 1-1 week, you had a non-conference match against Mercer. I know a tough loss against Rutgers over the weekend. Let's go back to last week against Mercer, a game in which offensively you put on a ton of shots. I believe you got over 3 times the amount of shots, but it was close down to the wire until you got that PK to kind of put it away for the 3-1 win.
Yeah, I actually met with our older players yesterday, our leaders, and I was really pleased that we took such good care of the game. I mean, we were in a very strong position at 2-0, and I felt they played man on man. It was an unusual strategy. We weren't completely prepared for that in our scouting reports, but I thought our players coped with it really well. We were knocking on the door in the first half. Halftime gave us an opportunity to address some things and started the second half very well. Took our chances well, and like you said, after they got one, to come back and just clean the game up with the third goal was important. So it's a tricky game in the middle of the week, and like you said, non-conference. I thought the lads did a great job of taking care of it.
It's always a tricky game, as you mentioned, when you play someone like Mercer. They're trying to slow the game down, make it kind of possession instead of moving up down the field. You had so much success in getting up the field that game. The goal they got, they were able to kind of get behind you as everyone was kind of pushed forward.
Yeah, it came off a long ball. We didn't deal with it very well, but they were 2-0 down, so they were lumping balls into the box. I mean, I think it came from a free kick at the top of their box, and so it travelled 80 yards, and it needed to be dealt with for us. But it is, difficult when teams, they were struggling a little bit, so I think their confidence was down, and their plan was to keep the game as tight as possible. So, like I said, it was a tricky game that our lads did a good job with.
You jump back into conference play Saturday night. I know a tough 1-0 loss to Rutgers. That was close throughout the match, obviously, 1-0 game. It's another game, too, where it looked like you had dominated offensively. The amount of shots you were getting, you got the 5 early shots. They closed the gap to I think, 5-4 at the half. They got that big goal, though, and just defensively they were able to stop any kind of offensive threat.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was one of the better games of the season here at Mike Rose. I know we've had great feedback we had a great crowd that night, and I thought it was a top match. Thought we started the game well, had a couple of great chances, and I thought our players were well up for the game, and we looked fit and sharp. What I like about where our team is at, we look really played in. I thought we were confident. We have lots of ideas now. Our defending, I thought, was excellent. Decided to lose the goal, which I thought was a great ball. And we did have a couple of half chances afterwards. I kind of fancied us to get something out of the game. Disappointing game to get nothing from it. But the spirit of the team takes a solid performance. Got some more players, more playing time. The young lads seem to look good all the time, and Klippish playing at the back was excellent. So very encouraging from a lot of fronts, but conference games are going to be really difficult. I mean, we've seen that in the old league we were in. I mean, we're going to play 8 league games, and every one of them is going to be tough to get points. So the Cincinnati points are very important to us right now. And back to the conference is South Florida this Saturday.
It's a good point you make about the spirit of the team. Even I know they're disappointed in getting a 1-0 loss, but if you watch that game, if you're there to watch the match against Rutgers or you watch it on film, it's not a match where you say, well, they just played bad and there was no effort. It's just a good game by both teams. One team won.
Yeah, and I don't think we've played bad this season. And to be going into October and saying that we've just steadily improved, and that's why it's important for us right now to continue in that vein. We have some experienced players that have worked really hard the last couple of years, and particularly in the off season, to put themselves in a strong position this year. So we're encouraged. We had some injuries last week after the Cincinnati game that our lads are coming back to good health. Nate does a wonderful job with our players in the gym. So I think we're fit. I thought that showed again on Saturday night. So that'll stand to us as we go into the month of October.
Shane Keeley, another honor roll performance in the American this week.
Yeah, I mean they've got his name printed, don't they, each week? I mean he's had a wonderful season. He stepped in for Spencer, played in front of the back 4. I thought he was excellent. He's played a few spots for us, and no matter where he's gone, he's done well. And he's been opportunistic this year. I mean, he had a couple of strikes in the first half where I think he was a little bit unlucky. So looking for big things him here in October as well.
Wednesday night at Mike Rose Soccer Complex, you'll host UAB. That's an old rival, and so you're out of conference with them now, but you're still going to play them. It's a good match.
Yeah, it's probably the first time we've ever played them out of conference. We've been in the same league for I think since the 2 programs started, and Mike and I have agreed to play each other every year. In future years, it will be the opening game, whether it's at UAB or Memphis. So it's something we can both promote. But they're coming in here as a top-rated team, and we're coming into the game playing very well. So it's an interesting non-conference because it's a pretty tough non-conference game for both of us, and we've seen a lot of them because we've been to their tournament. So there's familiarity between the two programs, but I think it's a great game for us to bounce back after Rutgers.
Well, it's a good game in the aspect, too, that at the end of the season, it's a game. If you win, it's great for your resume. If you lose, it's not a disaster for your resume. You guys are in and out of the rankings. You're usually high RPI, so it's one of those very solid non-conference matches.
Both programs have played good schedules. We have a lot of common opponents, and to be honest, this game's going to be big on where we both stand at the end of the year.
Coach, then you're going to host South Florida Saturday night, and that's a team you hadn't seen in a few years since you guys were in the same league, so you'll see the Bulls again.
Yeah, same as Cincinnati. It's been one of those that we hadn't played since the old Conference USA. A strong program. So, the key was host. I mean, it's nice to have these home games here. We have a good stretch of home matches. There'll be big conference points up for grabs, and our lads know how important the league games are.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
As head coach Richie Grant, I'm Jeff Brightwell. This is the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.